My journey to the UK, I am resident in the UK. Wales is part of the UK. So I live in a little town called Neath, near Swansea. I'm a Gateshead supporter because I lived on Tyneside in the Newcastle area and lived and worked there and got married up there for about 25 years. And then I moved back to Wales with my job because I was dead lucky because I wanted to go home. So I've been like a migrant through when I was a lad with my parents, and I've got back to my homeland, which every Welsh person wants to really, but there's a huge bit of me belongs to the northeast of England.
I have families and friends here, and I'm here to study.
The real reason why I decided to come here for better perspective, better future. That's it.
7 years ago, I went to work in Sweden and I didn't make much of money. So one morning we decided to go somewhere else, and we decided that we have friends in London. And I came over here for 1 month only. And then I stayed, yeah.
When I was little, my sister immigrated to London, which was 17 years ago, and I always wanted to come and live here. So because my nephew and my niece is here and my sister, so half of my family is here. So I came 5 years ago, and when I landed in Stansted, I realized I'm gonna stay here forever.
My father was politically active. He was a medical student. He was in prison for 3 years, and he was 20 years old at the time. And when he was released, he got some intel that they wanted to catch him again. So at that time they decided to leave Iraq, and he actually went to the border of Iraq and Iran, which is the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Gulf, whatever you want to call it. And he was a very good swimmer, and he actually swam the distance, which sounds like a James Bond film, but yeah, he actually swam the distance, and he had somebody waiting on the other side, and he knew that some of Saddam's operatives would work in the area, and he had his story straight. Like he said, he was a teacher in the local school in Iran, and there was a school local, and he gave them the name, so he had the story all set up. And then he worked in Iran for a bit, and he met my mum, and my mum moved from Iraq to Iran, and then they got married in Iran. They met there, and then he moved to Dubai, worked in the hospital there for a bit, and then he moved to London, and that's when Hassan was born. So I was born in Iran, but then we moved all the way here.
I moved from an agricultural, rural place of great beauty, a place called Pembrokeshire in West Wales, and I moved to the shipyard and colliery area of Newcastle when I was a young lad. And I found it hard because I was a tough in the northeast, and I got filled in every day, every night at school, but I integrated, made a lot of friends, and then grew up there.
As soon as I walked out from, walked into the Victoria Street, I really enjoyed it because it's like massive, so different. So I was like, I'm gonna live here.
Absolutely great, because it's such an open country and you can be yourself here.
I'm here to study, yeah. There are a lot of things that you have to go through, especially if you are not from this country or born here. Yeah, you need first to live legal, yeah, and if you are illegal immigrant, you can study, and even if you study, I think they cut some of the study benefits and those things, and it's quite difficult to study when you are from abroad, yeah, to study here.
It wasn't that hard to adjust because I was young. It was much harder for my parents to, leave their family and move here and to a new language, new environment. Everything was different. So it was very hard for them, and my father had to start from scratch. Like, he had to do his exam to be able to work here as a doctor. So financially it was difficult for us. So it's a big change. You all of a sudden you live comfortably, then you don't, then you build your life up again.
Live it day by day and enjoy it, because you only have one go at it, don't you?
Well, basically not to be attached to money, so because it comes and goes. Like, my mom came from a very wealthy family, and all of a sudden that was taken away, and that's not what makes you happy. So just as long as you don't become too attached to materialistic things, then you can live your life and just be content with what you have.
To treat everyone equally.
It's very difficult to live, yeah. It's very difficult to live here.
You go through all of that, but something has to keep going with you. And alhamdulillah, shukr, just keep faith in Allah, and He pulls you through everything.
Life lesson. Well, I learned cooking.